Well, good morning all. Firstly, apologies for not posting anything sooner. It's been about a month since I've posted something last. In fact, this is the first post of this year, although I have been doing some stuff with Skill Builder. So I'm just literally going to take you through some stuff that's happening this year, some interesting stuff. So it's basically just a taster of what's going to come. I'm not actually physically doing anything today, so if you want to see me do something, you might want to check out now. But I am going to share with you a couple of tips at the end of this video if you're doing stud work or if you do stud work, and these are just my own tips, so it may be worth waiting on for those. First of all, so I'm standing inside the cable build, and in the background you can see now that I've sort of got through most of the partitioning. In fact, I've got 6 studs left to go in, and it's all complete. And I've just been doing this sort of at weekends, etc., and it's been really enjoyable. And it's really nice to see the space evolve. So if you've seen the first episode ever of the cable build over on Skill Builder, you'll see that I talk about how we're going to build the house, and there's a scale model that we made, and that shows all of the divisions and partitions. So for me now, actually building it is really quite exciting because I'm putting into practice everything that we designed on paper, and then also with the scale model that we did at the time. So have a quick walk round. A couple of things to show you and tell you. So here's my setup for stud work here. I've got myself my chop saw set up. I've also got a table saw set up. Both of these are mains powered tools because I've been chopping through loads of stuff. And the reason why I mention mains powered tools is because what I personally feel is this year is going to be the year of, real uptake in battery tools on site. Indeed, Milwaukee, in their convention coming up in Dublin, which I'm going to attend, it's all about the cordless job site. And with the battery technology that's coming online, the power of the batteries, you really can do a heck of a lot without power. And I think that's excellent from a health and safety point of view. And also from ease, and you can do things you could never do before with a cord, if you know what I mean. So it's really quite exciting. So I'll be doing some stuff on Skill Builder around that whole trip, if you like. So moving on, I'm just going to have a quick scan round and walk through. So we've got all of our glass in, which was a major job. We did that just before the new year. So in the background you can see this is like the big lounge with the big patio door sliders. And then we're coming through into what is the kitchen diner. There's a larder cupboard behind me, which is going to be a cold larder cupboard, so there'll be no underfloor heating in there. Be a solid concrete floor, so actually the cold will come up through it, which is unusual these days. Everyone wants insulation and the rest of it. And then in the background we've got what will be the laundry, which goes round to a boot room and downstairs cloakroom. So I'm actually still in the kitchen here. We've got one of our Corniche roof lanterns above us, which is fantastic. And right up here I've got a new pair of drills from Hikoki, and I must admit they're epic. They're really strong. The batteries just go and go and go and go and go. I particularly like the impact driver. It's so compact. I mean, look at the length of this. If I take that bit out, you can put a bit in there. It's barely the width. It's barely the thickness of a CLS timber. So that's really nice stuff. So talking about Hikoki, so I am planning to do some stuff with Hikoki, which is really exciting, and that will revolve around tips and tricks and that sort of stuff. So we'll keep checking back for that. Coming through, a lot of people ask me all about my roofing and my roof construction. So I'm going to be doing a fair bit on roof construction this year. As and when my jobs come along, I'm going to take pieces and do bits. But for those of you who have been asking, this is my roofing square. This is the one I've been using ever since I was at college, which I left in 1988 at college. And this is the Smallwood metric roofing square. The only difference that you might see is that I have a hardwood clamped fence that I've made up, which basically I set to the pitch and I use that on everything. It's absolutely fantastic. And I intend to take you right through the Smallwood roofing square, and this is all part of my long-term aim to do courses, and that means that I'm going to invite people to come and train on the Smallwood roofing square. Again, this is something I'm trying to evolve. It's something I've always wanted to do. Over the years I have trained a fair few carpenters who've been working with me how to use it, and it's set them up in life for making a good living, to be fair. So it comes with this little green book, which is fairly simple to learn if you take it step by step and try not to run before you can walk. So just a quick bit of history about the Smallwood roofing square. It was devised from the Imperial version by a chap called Bob Hopkins. Bob Hopkins was a carpenter and joiner lecturer at North East Surrey College of Technology, where I trained. I was really lucky to have him as my lecturer. He actually taught me how to use the roofing square, as he taught everybody. And we kept in touch since I left college. Unfortunately, Bob passed away probably 7 or 8 years ago now, or maybe even more. But in the back of the book, I've got a little handwritten note from him, and because I was in touch with him, and I was often asking him about this and that and all the rest of it. And it's quite nice. It's kind of for me, this is quite nostalgic. So if you come on the course, I'll share all that with you maybe. So moving on. So we're in the main body of the building now. So behind me, I'm standing in what is going to be the TV room and snug, and then beyond that there's a study, and then beyond that you can see through the kitchen and the living and the dining. This is the main hall here, and basically how the house works, all the all the living accommodation is to the right of me, and all the bedroom suites and everything else are all to the left of me, and that works with the compass as the sun comes round. So we've got on the north side, we've got the bedrooms so they're nice and cool, and then we want to gain the heat during the day where possible from the sun coming through the windows, etc. So while I've been building this house, because it's although it's not a new build, it's a refurb, so we left the existing steel structure and everything else, we just rebuilt all of the walls and the roof and everything else. I'm really interested in air tightness, and this is a subject that a lot of people are interested in. So right through the course of the build, we've made sure that we've eliminated any air spaces and gaps and all the rest of it, generally just through really good setting out, really good measuring, really good leveling, and then when we're fixing stuff, if there is any discrepancy there, we'll use some sort of polymer gap filler or something like that between damp course and sole plate, all that sort of stuff, just to stop the passage of air. So what I intend to do, before I seal it all up inside with vapor barrier, plasterboard, etc., I'm going to have the house air tested. So that means they're going to blow the house up and they're going to check for leaks. And then we can go around, deal with any leaks at that stage, which is going to be quite interesting, because obviously you don't really want air to leak or cold to come in, because obviously that's the real problem and it makes it expensive to heat and all the rest of it. So what I'm doing in the meantime to monitor that, I've got a really useful little device. It's called a Wicub. It's a small white box, I'll show it to you, and it monitors the temperature and humidity of this building. So this is it, this little white box here. It's got an internal battery. It's connected to the Wi-Fi which is running in here, and it sends me a report once a day, and I can monitor the temperature drop. Being that there's no heating on in here, I can monitor the temperature inside against outside, and I can also check how much it drops as the outside temperature drops. So just this week, we've gone from having days of -3 in the morning to yesterday it was +10, and the temperature inside never fluctuates more than 1 whole degree. So already I know that the system on the roof, so all the PIR on the roof, the PIR in the walls, the double glazing, is all pretty good at maintaining a temperature up or down. So I'm quite pleased with that. And couple that with the air test that I'm going to do and all of the treatment which results from that air test, hopefully we can get this so it's fairly airtight. Airtight buildings are only any good if you've got fantastic ventilation, forced ventilation. And one of the other things I'm doing next month is I'm going to go on a BPEC course, and this is courtesy of Lindab, who are going to assist me with all of my mechanical ventilation. So what that means is we have one unit which deals with all the bathrooms, wet areas, where they're going to draw moisture out. Instead of having a separate extractor fan for every bathroom, this has a series of ducts which run to a central unit that takes all of the stale moist air, gets rid of it, recovers the heat, mixes it with clean fresh air and redistributes that to other areas. So there'll be other ducts running into rooms, and it will actually ventilate the house. So we're getting rid of the stale air. It runs fairly continuously from what I gather. It also boosts itself when it detects, you know, someone in the bathroom, the shower's on. It's a fabulous system. I'm going to be doing a full install piece all about that and how it works. That's coming up as well. But before I do that, I have to get a qualification to enable me to fit it. So I'm excited about that. I always like to learn stuff and everything else. Now, here's my little tip for you if you've been waiting all the way through. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, I've got 6 studs left to fit. And this is in this bedroom, and it separates the bedroom from what will be a wardrobe, dressing room, and a bathroom, shower room, which is sort of behind me here. So here's the partition that I'm filling in. I've got 6 studs to cut. All my head plates are in, see up there? My sole plates are in, down the bottom there. So, if you're used to using sawn timber of any sort, whether it's sort of 100 by 50 sawn and treated, or whether it's CLS in my case, this is we call 4-inch CLS. It finishes about 3.5 inches, which is about 89 millimeters. So anyone who buys a lot of timber knows that it's never dead straight, and you just have to work with it. If it's really bowed, you set that to one side, you cut that up for noggins. What I do here, I've selected the last 6 studs that I've got to go in. So I've laid them down from here to the floor, parallel, and then I sort them out. So if there's one up, one down, I sort them out into a flat pack. So now they're all nice and flat, and when I build them in, I'll put them in that order, and the wall will be straight and flat. So it's a simple tip. You can rest it between 2 battens, providing they're flat, end to end, and just turn them over, shuffle them around until you get a nice flat surface across them. When you build the wall, when you spread them out, you're going to do all right. It's going to be nice and straight and flat. Also, we're using some pocket doors in this build. So between this area and this area, we're going to have pocket doors. That's why these apertures behind me are twice the width as they need to be for a door. The reason why we're going to use pocket doors are because this is an occasional door, because it's in a dressing room and it's sort of off one bedroom. You may not even need to use a door, but it's nice to have it for a bit of privacy should you want it. So that's the nice way of tucking them out of the way and hiding them. Just one other thing as well, a product here called Gapo tape. This tape is designed to be used with PIR board, and what it actually does is improves the performance of PIR, so Celotex, Kingspan, Quinn, whatever brand you may use. And what it does, so you cut your boards in, you actually cut them in slightly under, up to about 10 millimeters, and then you tape the edge with this product, so it's got a flanged adhesive strip either way, and you wrap that round, and it's got this foam edge which provides a friction fit, and so it allows for any undulation. And through tests, producers of Gapo tape tell me that it can actually really improve the performance of your PIR because of the air tightness and the gaps, less gaps. So that's quite interesting. So we're going to be using that, and apparently because we're using this, it's been proven in the laboratory that we can use slightly less PIR, and if you're buying in the market of buying PIR, you know how expensive it is. It's not just the expense, it's time consuming, and it takes up a lot of space, especially on the underside of a roof. So that's also something to look out for. So in the meantime, thanks very much for all the people who've subscribed to me recently. I'm up to 2,200 subscribers now, which is quite small if you look at some other channels out there. But to be fair, a lot of my stuff is quite niche and quite vertical, so I don't expect millions and millions of views and all the rest of it. And also, I'm just interested in sharing my knowledge with people because it's interesting. So thanks very much for checking in with me. Keep checking back, and I promise I'll be doing some other stuff very shortly. Have a great weekend.